Now that we're ready to add this onto the side, I have a length of ribbon here. If you don't have any ribbon at the end left over, just take a piece and tie it in here just like you did at the beginning. So I've just tied a length in. I'm going to start about 1/3 of the way down just to kind of line these up. I'm going to take my ribbon. This is the first step. I'm actually going to bring it in around the main ribbon in here, or the main vein, whatever you use to put it together. I'm going to pull that nice and tight. So I want these to be kind of hugging each other. And then I'm going to come back around these 11-inch balloons and just do a figure 8. I go a couple of times on this one because I want this to be nice and secure. And I'm going to tuck it around the back. You can clip that ribbon off. Don't cut it too short because you don't want it to unravel. So honestly, the ribbon that's in the back, I would tie it before you clip it. There's that. Now we're going to take a 260 twister like so. I'm going to go kind of maybe 1/3 of the way down this one, maybe not quite. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just tying this in here just in a knot, just kind of real basic, just like we've done with everything else. So now I have this little anchor point like this. And then I'm just going to I'm going in and around. Again, I'm going around the ribbon, kind of the main little spot. I'm pulling this down and tight, and then I'm going to bring it back. So I want to tighten it first before I come back, because it's harder to tighten it once it's here. So now I'm in there, and I'm just going to come in, pick a set of balloons, right there, go around these gold ones, figure 8, just like that. And then I'm just going to tuck that behind, like so, and grab another one. So I kind of want my 16-inch to be towards the front, so I'm going to start in here, right around that. Take my 260, I'm going to tie it into the main garland. Do the same thing, pull this back, kind of situate these together, I'm kind of pulling this in. So one of the things you want to make sure of is that you are not taking and dragging this along the balloon like here. I want to pull this really tight, and then I want to wrap it around the base right here so I don't accidentally pop anything. So I'm going to come like this and like that. So whatever you do when you're tightening it, don't drag it kind of across this part of the balloon. So just like that. Now, because I have quite a bit of 260 left, I'm going to come back and tighten up a little bit more. Push these to the front. You can definitely grab a new 260 at any point, but I have enough length, so I feel comfortable just kind of bringing it down here. And instead of wrapping it, I've tied it because it's getting shorter. So you can wrap it, you can tie it, just make sure that it's tight, just make sure that these are pulled together. If it's loose, it's just going to kind of like slip away. You'll have bigger gaps, so just make sure everything's kind of tight together, like so. And then you start pulling this towards the front. So if you have ordered a Boujee box with 24-inch balloons in it, this is where we would add those on. So I'm just going to inflate those and show you just kind of a way to tuck them in here, and then you'd add your 5-inch balloons at the very end. All right, so you are going to get a round 24-inch balloon and an oval 24-inch balloon. The round ones are going to be a little bit bigger. This one, too big for the garland. So if you were to inflate it to its full 24-inch size, it starts to take on this sort of oblong shape, and it just does not work very well. And again, it makes it easier to pop. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Some garlands are not going to have the 24-inch round balloon, depending on the colors. Some of these don't come in round. Some of them only come in oval, and vice versa. So just kind of bear that in mind. You might have 2 of these in your kit. So now we're at that round shape. I'm going to tie a 260 twister to this, and then I'm just going to position it and tie it right in. All right, so I've got a 260 twister. I don't need a whole one. I really only need half of this. I'll use half for one and half for the other one. So I'm just going to cut this in half like that. Set this aside. And then I'm just going to kind of come in and figure out where I want to fill it in. I can kind of put it up here. This is kind of where it's good to have somebody with you to give you a visual, or you just kind of loosely wrap it in and then go back and make sure you like it before you tie it. Nice thing about the 260s, you don't like it, you can cut it and put it in a different spot. There we go. All right, so now we are going to add our 5-inch balloons. One thing to make note of, this is a Glam standard Garland. It's not a luxe build, so it does look probably a little bit smaller than the last one, but that's because your base Garland is not quite as thick. So just kind of keep that in mind. They shouldn't look the same because they're built differently.